Hey guys, I'm Mono and I'm here to give you my thoughts on the Super Mario Brothers movie. And if you know this channel, you might be wondering what the hell's a movie review thing doing here? And what can I say? I guess it's a strange world. Haha, yeah! Anyway, I went to see Mario over the weekend with my kids in Spanish, in Español Latino, because they do know English, but they prefer to watch movies in their native language. They are little kids, they are 6 and 8 years old. And I will make a point about this later on in the video, but first let me give you a quick plot overview. And this is the point where I should give spoiler warnings, but the story barely matters and I'm just gonna go over it real quick and really short. It's just there to get things rolling and I'm just gonna do a quick overview of it. I'm not gonna go into any details. So here goes. Mario and Luigi go through a pipe into the world of Mario as we know it, so the Mushroom Kingdom, the Pyramid Desert World, Bowser's Lava World, and all of that. They get separated, Luigi gets captured by Bowser, and Mario teams up with Peach and Donkey Kong to go rescue him. It's a really simple story, there's more to it, of course, than that, but it feels pulled directly from basically any of the Mario games, and that is exactly what it needed to be. It's basically an excuse for an adventure that takes Mario across multiple different locations where fun stuff happens. So for example, when he falls into the Mushroom Kingdom for the first time, he runs into Toad. He's all confused about what's going on. He encounters platforms around the world and the tubes and everything, and Peach makes him this classic Mario level for him to train on and, you know, get accustomed to being Mario basically. And I was a bit worried at this point that the movie would treat Mario like some poor, stupid, helpless guy, while Peach was going to be the girl boss that is good at everything, but that is not the case. It's fun to actually see Mario become good, and I think it also works as a nod to the players themselves. You know, when you first pick up a Mario game, you're not very good at it. You see Mario failed at this pretend level multiple times. He doesn't actually beat it in the end. And yeah, I think it's a nod to the players and how it can be hard and frustrating to beat a level. There's a line from Peach in this scene where Mario asks her if, you know, she's beaten this course, and she's like, yeah, I beat it the first time, but that's because I grew up here and everything. And I just think it's a dumb line. It's an unnecessary line, and it also doesn't make any sense. I live in a world where, you know, people play soccer. I'm not good at soccer just because I live in this world and I grew up here. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I just think it's out of place. And I think it failed to capitalize on an opportunity for them to have some common ground. And as a gamer, whenever someone says like, oh yeah, I beat this first time, like, that doesn't come off as polite. So I didn't really like that line. But anyway, when they go off to the world of Donkey Kong to enlist the help of the Donkey Kong people to fight Bowser, who is coming to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom, there's this fight scene between Mario and Donkey Kong. They fight on some girders that are pulled straight from, you know, you guessed it, the Donkey Kong video game. And it's cool. Mario gets his ass kicked until he grabs a cat power-up, and then he dunks on Donkey Kong. And it's very satisfying to see Mario be really good at something, you know? Some people might get the wrong impression that the only fun and appeal that this movie has comes from looking at scenes and seeing like, oh, you know, that's the thing from the video game. That's a Donkey Kong arcade machine there in the background. Like when there's a karting scene, because of course there's a scene where they use the Mario carts, you know, they use the green turtles and the banana peels and all of that, and the green turtle bounces around. There's even the blue turtle. There's a scene where Mario and Luigi are running across Brooklyn, the real world they live in, and it's this side-scrolling thing where it's clearly a Mario level. And Mario even slides down a pole at the end next to a castle-looking shop. And there is obviously a very satisfying feeling towards finding these connections and seeing the stuff that, you know, from the games get represented and shown in a movie. But it's also a fun movie in itself. The animation is good, the scenes are gorgeous, and there are fun moments to be had. It relies a bit too much maybe on slapstick humor, which is fine because it is a kids movie. But there's also some cool action scenes where Mario gets to kick ass with some power-ups, and it's just a lot of fun. My kids absolutely loved it. I asked them from 1 to 10 what score they would give it, and of course they said like, oh, a million, bazillion, trillion, whatever. And I gotta say, I got a little emotional watching this movie. Not because of any particular scene, but because I'm watching this character that I grew up with together with my kids. And like 30 years later, they are also growing up enjoying this character and these games. It's a bond we share together, and I actually can't wait for them to make a Zelda movie after this, because the potential is definitely there for it to be amazing. And yeah, as a family, I can't remember the last time there was a movie I could take my kids to that we could all enjoy and connect with so much. So yeah, there's a ton of references, but the scenes do work on their own. The movie does assume, though, that you know your Mario stuff. You know what the flower power does, you know that the mushroom makes Mario bigger. Nothing about this is explained. Nothing about the world, of why the world is the way it is explained. They're not trying to create some background lore to explain why platforms can hover in midair in the Mario world. And Mario is just completely unfazed by all of this. He's a cartoon character. He reacts the same way to all this craziness as you would expect Bugs Bunny to. So after some initial shock of the world he's in, he's like, whatever, a mushroom that makes you bigger? Yeah, sure, that makes sense. Platforms that hover in midair? He even makes a joke about like, oh, gravity? No thanks. And the same goes for his relationship to all the characters. He meets Toad. At first, he's like, oh, why is a talking mushroom talking to me? Then he asks Toad for help at finding Luigi. Toad goes like, oh yeah, follow me, I'll take you to the princess. They meet the princess, and they are friends in like seconds. And it just works that way, When they meet Donkey Kong doesn't like Mario because he's Donkey Kong, and that's just the way things are, right? And I honestly cannot believe some of the critics, what they are saying, that there's barely any story, there's no character development, nothing is explained. It's just, Mario is as iconic as drinking water is. You don't watch a movie about a chess tournament and go like, oh, but why are the pieces attacking each other? Like, what's going on here? That's not the point. Mario saves Peach from Bowser. That's what he does. He defeats Bowser. He saves the world. That's what he does. It is intrinsic to the character itself. I might argue that Mario is as well known as numbers are. So if you're not aware, the critics are giving this movie a generally bad score. They must live in a world where the concept of having fun is completely alien. There are some things I would complain about, like there are some scenes where Bowser, who is voiced as Jack Black, sings while playing a piano. He sings a song about Peach, and it is just a completely non-Bowser thing to do. It's very much this, let's give Jack Black his Jack Black movie moment. And it does work to show, I guess, how obsessed Bowser is with Peach, but it's also completely unnecessary and a total self-insert from the actor overriding the character's qualities or behavior. It's very clearly Jack Black being Jack Black, and I like him and all. I like him as an actor. I watched Jumanji recently and I liked him in that, but he can be a bit overbearing, and I think this is the perfect example of such a case. In terms of the voice acting, so I listened to it in Spanish. I haven't seen any complaints though from the voices in English, which I did see a bit of through some means that do not include going to a movie theater that you can find on the internet. But anyway, I will watch it in English at some point, but I do want to talk about the stupidity of John Leguizamo and his whole like, there's no Latino representation in this movie, so I'm not gonna watch it. And the version I watched was all Latino. All the voice actors were Mexican in this version. And that is the version that Latino people are watching in these countries, which are in Latin America. And I just find it so pathetic that this guy can't even conceive of this. The thought doesn't even cross his mind that there are multiple voice actors for different regions for this movie, because not everyone, especially not kids, are gonna watch it in English. He claims to be advocating for Latino representation, which, by the way, I find completely condescending and patronizing as a Latino myself. But in the process, he just betrays his inability to consider the world outside of the United States for a single second. It is completely pathetic. And I find it even worse that none of the media outlets that carried this stupid story have even mentioned this or even thought about this, because they are just so self-centered that they can't even conceive of, the fact that there are other voice actors for this movie. So yeah, the Mario movie is a breath of fresh air. It is completely devoid of any foreign influence that's not, let's look at the games, let's understand what's fun about them, about the world, about the characters, and let's translate that to a movie as faithfully as possible. And that is all they needed to do, and it's all they've done. I hope the people making the TV shows and movies for a mature audience actually take note of this, because you know what I wanted to see in The Witcher? I wanted to see Geralt being Geralt, and instead I got something else. They try to better the material by changing what the fans fundamentally like about this stuff. Like, they buy the IP, they spend the money to get that fan base, and then they go and transform it into something completely different that we as fans don't want. And I don't want to turn this into a rant, but whatever. It's a good, fun movie and you should go watch it. If you don't know this channel, hi. If you do know this channel and you enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comments. I might do more videos like this talking about pop culture or TV shows or movies in the future if this video does well. So yeah guys, let me know down in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please give it a like. As always, thank you for watching and I hope I will catch you in the next one.